I've been waiting to get my hands on this Masters of the WWE Universe Grayskull Mania playset for some time now, and it's finally here. Let's take a look at it. This was only available at Walmart in the US. And I don't think it's going to be available in Canada, so I ordered it, and it cost me about $65. It was $30 on the website. I believe it was free shipping in the US. $30 is the regular price that you would pay. People are finding it now for $10 and $15 on clearance. That is why I think this was a Christmas exclusive only for Walmart in the US. In Canada, things are starting to show up on the website. You can search for them. You can see them. They say they're not available online yet. Hopefully they will be. And they say that they're available in store. I've gone to a lot of stores. I have not found them. You can also search on other websites to look to see if they're in stock. And so far, nothing is in stock. The figures are going for $19.99, so $5 more than what they are in the States. I need scissors. I'm okay with that. I'm excited. On my first glance at this, I look at the figures and the heads seem a little small. So right away I'm kind of disappointed. I love Masters of the Universe. I'm not so sure I like the classics. I'm not so sure I like most of what the Four Horsemen had sculpted. I don't want that extra articulation. I just really love the figures. I wish they would just release them as is. This looked like the closest awesome... what do you do in a relationship when you... compromise. It looked like a good compromise because I know so many adult collectors want articulation and they want all this other stuff. I lived with 5 points all of my life and I never needed anything more. This is crazy cool. It's in Grayskull green, and it's the ring, and it's got spring-loaded action here. That's really cool. Comes with this really cool deco that is very close to like the flag from the original Masters of the Universe playset. So that's cool. Or an original sticker from the Masters of the Universe playset. We got some accessories in here. And I do have my box of my original, as a kid, Masters of the Universe figures. I did get rid of everything else when I was a kid. Like, I guess your parents talk you into doing stuff like that at some age, and I just stopped collecting toys. I don't think I knew that New Adventures existed until the computer and the internet was invented, and I was able to revisit all of my childhood interests. And then I discovered that there was this whole other unsuccessful revamp. I really wanted to save this box. Mine came ripped. There's this rip right here. I'm not sure you can see that. But I'm going to cut it out all carefully and save what I can. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up chucking it all out. But I'm really super curious to see the difference between these figures. Now I'm thinking that Triple H's head is smaller because of the other figure of him that is released, where he has a helmet. Hey, maybe I can use this as a platform for my reviews to show figures. I also should put on a pair of glasses so I can really get a good look. So the articulation, I'm not a big fan of articulation. I talk about this in a lot of my reviews of, it doesn't matter if it's an action figure or a doll or anything. I prefer just the standard pose because when I have a toy, I'm not really going to play with it. I'm just going to stand it and just look at it. So it only needs to be in one pose. I mean, I do like the 5 points where there's a little bit of play value, but I don't need all of the twisting and turning. But it looked like it was hidden really well in these figures. And my first glance, yes it is, but... what I love so much about Masters of the Universe is that it wasn't fragile because it was hunky. Like, this is two hunky toys. There's a reason I love hunky chunky toys, and it's because they're solid. They look like they're good quality. They are good quality. They're durable. All of this was really important to me as a kid and into present days. And they do look a little thin in places. So let me get up the original Master of the Universe, He-Man. And mine, of course, is older, so he's got jiggly legs because the elastic band is given out. But I would say I could probably still get him to stand because, I don't know, for some reason, my toys are in mint condition, and I played with them every day, and it is the only toy brand I collected, and I got almost everything, and I bought most of it myself. I loved it. And he's not as big, no. Now the shoulders look pretty big. The torso does kind of look big. It's good. That head is so out of proportion to the other ones. Now, John Cena's head is a bit bigger and it looks a little more in scale. At least his face does. But you can see that there is a significant difference in head size. So he looks a little dinky. Maybe I should concentrate on John here. Now, I am really excited about these because I love the Remco figures and anything that looked like Masters of the Universe. Probably not in its day. In the 80s, I was too much of a snob, and I was only going to collect Masters of the Universe. But I did have a couple of the Remco items, and the All-Star Wrestlers were around, so this is a great homage to that. It makes sense. This crossover is awesome. I don't see anybody do this in the reviews, but you can take these all apart everywhere. The wrists. I never did get my hands on the San Diego Masters of the Universe ones. Again, too expensive for me to ship to Canada. But all of this stuff comes apart. And if I look at this, that really does look like Masters of the Universe torso. Let's take a look at He-Man's body under here. I usually don't bring out my 80s toys for the reviews. I usually use the reissues, but the torso at least looks right on par. And if I hold up the arms, I mean, it might be the positions that the things are in. Really, that arm is bigger. They have a little too much stuff on them, too, but all of these things come off, and that's pretty common with the WWE. Different types of figures usually do have these little rubber things that you can release. Now, it's funny that those are supposed to be the Masters of the Universe elements, but I like to strip them down. There might be a little too much paint on here and everything. The thing also that I loved about Masters of the Universe is that they painted it in bright pops of color. So we're getting minimal paint, and it's usually just one color on an accessory or something. Like when you look at Skeletor, one of the things that I loved about this line originally was that it was just, you got the figure and then you got the solid contrasting color. Like this purple and blue, it's such a weird, like close color, and then all of his accessories matched. It was like pop art. And it just really stood out. And then they put the minimal paint on the face and coolness. Here, we're getting into a lot more details. So they're trying too hard. Maybe sometimes in new toy lines, as they go along, when the toy gets more popular, they kind of cheapen. Initially, they'll put more effort into it. But as things go, maybe they'll just make it more pop arty and not put as much deco on it. Now, we haven't seen the new Masters of the Universe figures yet, so I don't know how they're going to translate to this. I'm thinking that He-Man's head is going to be a little small. I do like the new sculpt of the new He-Man head. See, all of these bicep braces and elbow guards and knee pads, they all come off. I like the sculpt. A lot of people don't like the new head sculpt. I welcome those changes and everything because it is a new line and it's different and that's fun, that there is a little bit of change. Man, I have way too much to say about this without even reviewing the product. I don't know if these joints are going to break. That would be horrible because I didn't get this from Amazon or anything. I can't return it. The joints are nice and tight. What I was saying, though, is I like that new face sculpt. The new head sculpt for He-Man might look a little thin, and I won't know until I get my hands on it. Also separate the boot here. So there is a boot cut, so you can take off the boot. I don't really like that cut It might actually just look funny on John Cena because it cuts at his calf. That comes off. And did they make these guys in the same skin tone so that at least they would be changeable? The torso actually does not seem to be in the same skin tone, but the arms do seem to be in the same skin tone. They must be close, because that way you can at least mix and match the stuff. Now, these weapons, they rule. They really should match his harness. He probably should have came with the translucent harness, so it was all one like matchy thing, because that's what's great. But these weapons do look good. They do feel a little more brittle than your normal Masters of the Universe thing. This is not so bad. The shield feels like it could possibly break, but the plastic does feel better than anything that we've been getting from Funko or Super 7, so that's really good. That is what I'm most excited about, to get this license, to get anything 5.5 in a giant toy company, because that's what we were missing. All these smaller companies were making these toys, and it's just kind of scary because they can't necessarily do it justice. I don't know. For some reason, there is a difference between the plastics that can be offered. I should have found out if the legs can come off or not. I'm not really sure right now what parts can be removed. I don't think anybody knows. I don't know if I can take these knee pads off either. They seem to be on super tight, but I wouldn't think that it would separate at the knee. I don't want to break the new toy. I might have to do some more research. I probably should have done that before. I do see that there's a ball joint in there. It looks like it possibly could come off, but I'm going to have to check the points of removal. But maybe I have it down to what it can be. And a lot of people do put the Masters of the Universe Classics toys on these. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my Classics collection. I better hold on to it until I see how I feel about the new ones. There's this spring action connection. That's kind of cool. It's like, I don't know, it's like this extra like push and suck kind of joint. And they do feel like they stay in pretty well, and the joints are tight. And look at this arm next to He-Man's. The wrist is a bit dainty, but for the most part, it is a nice chunky looking figure. I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Hopefully I've got the right foot on the right side of the body. Must be able to take those knee pads off. It is a shame that those cuffs are on the wrists. I'd prefer that they not be there, or that they were thicker. I would love if they were just like He-Man. Sculpted in, not painted. Less is more. When it's not painted like this, you can use your imagination as to, does he have them on? Does he not have them on? For, certain circumstances. I'm trying to get him in a crouched position. They don't have the bent knees like the regular Masters do. It feels smaller in my hand, so it must be smaller, even though when I really look at it and I hold them up close, I guess it's probably a weight thing. They just feel and look more delicate. They have bigger shoulders. There are more bulbous shoulders. That's something that I do notice, that their shoulders are way bigger. But everything else, it's a little lighter. It's not as like solid plastic. I guess that's true. I guess all of these pieces are slightly hollow. But I think it's acceptable. And I didn't show you the terror claws. And I'm not sure if these are the ones that came with the Classics toys or not, but probably they are. A lot of the stuff matches, and I've seen online where people do mix in even the Create a Superstar stuff. So that'll be really fun. I do have a pretty good Create a Superstar collection that I probably should break out, mix and match with these figures. I love that line, and I actually remember wishing that when they had Create a Superstar that they would make, why not do Masters of the Universe? And here we go. We can mix and match. And that's one of the hugest appeals to this, is that we can make all of these other characters and we can mix and match. And I think it's such a great idea to have the WWEs come out with the Masters of the Universe. The kids are going to learn about Masters of the Universe because of these figures. And then they're going to want to collect the new Masters of the Universe toys to go with them, to mix and match their WWE figures. I think this is a great idea. The paint jobs, for the most part, look really, really good. This isn't so much a review of the product now, is it? Or maybe it is. It's more of me taking it apart. It comes with a step up to the ring that works as a place to hold your tools. And you can clip that onto the side of the ring any way you want. I'm not going to put my sticker on the middle of the ring because I just don't do that, even though it looks like the sticker would, it's all scratched there and would make it look better, but I don't put my stickers on ever. I'm going to put this ring together, and I'll show you that at the end of this video, but I've already said way too much about this stuff. So the bottom line is, I like them. I'm definitely going to collect them all. This is the best 5.5 I've seen, brand new. It feels more durable. It's probably more welcoming to more people. So this probably is the best we're going to get in modern times. And I accept it. I approve. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned at the end, and I'll show you what this ring looks like when it's all put together. Look at this detail. That's cool. I guess I really should show you what you have to do. You have to put these posts in like this, and you really have to push them down until you hear a click. I wasn't sure I was putting them in right. Hopefully there's not a correct one to put in a certain spot. I've had a few Jack specific. I've had a few Jack's specific rings that did not actually go together very well, and they used to fall apart. This one seems like it's going together very nicely. Yeah. Sounds like a good base. And it is a good base. Definitely fun. Definitely a great way to display the figures. Yeah, this is good. It's a good size. People were complaining about this. It looks huge. Look how big it looks on camera. With Skeletor way back here. It's nice. It's really cool. I really like the details. This is really awesome. And probably will make a great backdrop, and lots of fun can be had with this, for sure. It's probably a good chroma key green, too. And the little spring action on it is sweet. Yeah. I really like that. And I really like how springy these are. I like that you can throw the guys off. This is some of the best ring action that I've played with. So it's a sweet ring. And is there anything I didn't show you? This harness. Let me see if I can put this on He-Man. It's a nice rubbery harness though, so I think I can probably stretch it around He-Man's waist, put it over his head. Yeah, the torsos seem to be right on, which is funny because Super 7s actually didn't match, and the armor you couldn't really fit on each other. But this does work out. That's He-Man, original He-Man with the stuff on. Let's give him the invisible axe and shield, which I probably should have showed you how it fit into their hands, but I'm not sure if it's going to fit. But it does fit. It doesn't stay in perfectly, but it does stay in, as you can see. That's cool. And Terraclaw Skeletor. This isn't really going to work for Terraclaw Skeletor because of the shape of the hands. Yeah. Skeletor's fins aren't really allowing for this stuff to go on, unfortunately. I don't want to snap anything, so I'm not going to force anything, and I don't want to scratch my new figure. But they're a bit brittle, but they're awesome. I could put them on He-Man instead. So a standard Masters of the Universe. Nope, they don't fit on the figures because their hands and wrists are a bit bigger. Like I said, these guys do have daintier wrists But if you do look at the hands, they're pretty similar. Like, yeah, and actually, John Cena's hand here actually is bigger. But it's all in the wrist. All on the wrist. The fist is a nice touch, but I do like this classic open hand. Such an amazing sculpt. My love for Masters of the Universe comes from that space where it was just the end of the 70s, so there was still that psychedelic, creepy thing. Yeah, the 80s were a little more happy. 70s still had that dark side, and that's what Masters of the Universe embraced. This is all great stuff. This head is too small.